Hello, it's Sandra from ConversionMinded. Welcome to the world of Canva. In this training, I'm going to show you everything you need to know to get started and really create amazing, beautiful designs with Canva. So let's jump right in and get to it. Okay, when you first log in to Canva, you're going to see your dashboard. And right up here, you can search if you want to. I haven't used the search tool very much, so can't speak to that. But you will see here some templates that Canva has for you to start your design. And if you scroll a little bit further down, you'll see your design. So any of your new designs that you're creating, you will see them all here on the dashboard. And this is really super helpful because you can see the designs that you've created in one place and then use a design for your next project if you like. So if you're working with Biz-in-a-Box templates, as you start creating your new designs, you will be able to pick those up to use as a template for your next project. The other way to access all of your designs is right here over in the left. So this is the basic dashboard. You're going to see your designs plus some templates that Canva has for you depending on what types of designs you're going to be creating. Now this is one of the things that I love so much about Canva is that you can create virtually anything inside of here, from social media posts to ebooks to business cards to cover photos for social media to presentations. Anything you need to do graphically for your business can be contained and done inside of Canva. And that's so different from Photoshop or the Adobe Creative Suite because if you want to create a social media post, you would be using Photoshop and then you'd have to know how to use InDesign to create an ebook. And in Canva, you just have to know how to use Canva. And not only that, you can organize your files and you can see them all in one place. So it's really, really powerful. Now, before we dive into creating a design and I walk you through everything that there is to know about designing inside of Canva, I want to show you some of the features on the left side here. The ones that you're going to want to know about is the brand kit section. If you click on the brand kit, you'll have the ability to start creating some custom colors and fonts that you want to use for your business. Now, I have a Canva for Work account, which is a premium account. I pay $10 a month, which is nothing for all of the functionality that Canva gives you. And with that, I can upload brand colors, I can upload my logo, I can upload fonts that I want to use as a default, and you can do the same thing. Now, if you have a free Canva account, let's say you're just getting started, you want to get your feet wet and understand how to use Canva first, perfectly okay. You can still select 3 brand colors that you want to use. And then later on, to unlock the logo features and the font features, then you would want to change over to a premium account. And then down here is folders. So again, there's a little bit of difference here between premium and free account. With a free account, you'll get 2 folders, and with a premium account, you have unlimited folders, which is really helpful as you start creating designs for different things, different sizes, different formats. Then you can organize them into folders so that you're not looking and hunting for all of your designs on the regular dashboard. So I'll give you, for instance, let's say you're looking for your Instagram post because you want to pick up a design and use it again for your new post. You can just go right into that folder. I can look for Facebook group header photos that I have. I can look for ads. I can look for Facebook posts. You can organize till your heart's content, and it's a really, really helpful way not to be so overwhelmed by all the designs that you're going to be creating. Okay? There's other things you can do with folders. I'm going to get into those as we start designing, but they are really, really helpful. Okay, I'm going to go back over to the dashboard now, and let's start designing. As I mentioned, you can grab an existing design if you want to work from that. So if I select this design, keep in mind, and this is something that I always point out in the Biz-in-a-Box templates, is that you are now editing this file. So if you want to save the original file, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make a copy. This way, you're not destructively editing and writing over your original post. So that is something you definitely want to keep in mind. And here we go, we're designing. I'm going to go back to the dashboard. I'm going to show you how to start a new design from scratch. Okay, so to start a new design, you can go create a design, and then you will see some different options that Canva is showing you, some of their templates. Okay, you can scroll down. I find this a little bit overwhelming, first of all. A lot of times these templates don't suit my needs, and the Canva preset templates kind of are random for me, which is why I created Biz-in-a-Box, because I really think that you want to have all of your designs be cohesive, and some of these just are a little bit too scattered for my needs. So I like to start from scratch. Let's say custom dimension. We'll be creating an Instagram post together today, so I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave it in pixels, 1080 by 1080. You can also change the unit of measure. So let's say that you're working on an ebook and you want it to be 8.5 by 11 or 8.5 by 14. You would change this to inches and enter those dimensions. From here, just say create a new design, and voila, we are back. We have a blank canvas for us to start designing. Okay, before I hop on over and I show you all of these sections on the left, I want to just show you some of the features that you can do inside of the document. Okay, so the first thing that you'll notice is that you can add a new page. And this is why Canva is so powerful for multi-page documents. You can create a single design, or you can create multiple pages, as many pages as you want, save it as a PDF, and use it for your ebook or your digital product. Let me just color one of these to differentiate them, because I want to show you that you can then toggle the pages. So you can reorder the pages simply by choosing up or down, and then you can trash pages. The other thing you want to know about is the zoom down here. You can enlarge this so that you can zoom in, which is really helpful when you're working on detail work. You want to make sure your alignment is correct. And then you can zoom back out, and you can say fit. And that's probably where you're going to leave it so that you can see your entire design at a large enough size. Over on the left are the sections, and when you first start designing, Canva will show you some of their templates. Now these are perfectly fine if you find something that you like. If you're using my Biz-in-a-Box templates, then you would be selecting from one of those templates. But let's just start from scratch here, right? So I'm not going to use any of these templates. I want to show you some of these awesome features. So first, let's look at the elements. The elements is basically all of your elements. You can search for photos and you can search for graphics. So if we look first at photos, these are some of my recently used. Canva does a pretty good job of organizing photos. And then you can also use their search feature up here. And then graphics, Canva has a full library of shapes that you can use, lines that you can use, and even vector graphics that you can use. Let me come back over here, and I want to show you how to start using the photos. So really what you're going to do when you start is you're going to start with either a background color or you're going to use an image. In this case, I'm going to use an image. So I'm going to use the search feature here, and for my niche, it's business, and I like flat lay designs. So I'm going to search here, and I'm going to select this image. Now you'll notice that some of these say free and some of them have a price tag on them. So some photos in Canva's library are totally free, whether you have a premium account or a free account, and then some images are premium images. Now the difference between using a premium image with a free account and a Canva for Work account is the price of the image itself. When you have a premium Canva account, all of these premium images will be $1. And when you have a free account, it'll be $10. Now, when you consider that a Canva for Work account is only $10, it might make sense for you to go ahead and upgrade to a premium account if you find that you're using a lot of the images inside of Canva and you're starting to pay more than you feel like you should or you want to. Then you might want to upgrade to a premium account. And if I select one of the premium images, you'll notice that you have the watermarks, hash marks here, the Canva watermark, and to remove the watermarks, you have to pay right here. And if by chance you continue your design and then you're ready to save it and you forget to pay for those, when you go to download and use it, Canva will prompt you again to pay for that image. So there's no way you're getting around paying for those images. But I like this free image well enough, so I'm going to start with this. Now, all you have to do is click on that image and it's going to place it on your current page. You can grab the outside handlebars on either of the corners to start resizing this. And you'll notice when I do that, it's constraining the proportions. If you want to crop it, then what you would do is you would grab an outside edge. You can start to change the dimensions of that image. So I like this well enough. I'm going to leave it here. Now let's start adding to this. Before I move on to adding any headline, I want to just show you these graphics. Let's say that you want to search for a light bulb image. You will see the same thing that we saw over in the photos. Some of these are going to be free, and then as you scroll down, you'll start to see some with price tags. Usually you can find something that works for you for free, and then you click on it. Again, it places it right onto your canvas, and you can select the color here to change the color, and there you go. So I wanted to point that out because when I started working with Canva, I didn't realize that it had this whole library of vector graphics, and I like to use icons. So if you like to use icons, definitely check that out. Super easy to get those in there. Okay, so let's go over to the text section. Now you'll notice here, again, Canva has some templates for you ready to go. And these templates are really just text templates. So if you like a font that you see, you can select it and it will put it onto your canvas. Say you like another one, it'll put it right there. Okay, and you'll get the font that it's using and you will get a good starting place. But I'm going to start from scratch because I want to show you how to do this. Now I'm going to delete this text box, and the way I'm doing that is by holding my mouse key down and selecting the entire section here, and I'm just going to press delete and voila, it's gone. Now you'll see add a heading, add a subheading, add a little body of text. It doesn't really matter which one of these you choose because as you'll see they come onto your document in the same size. So I don't know what the difference is between these, but it doesn't really matter. All you need to know is that you can just click on one of these and you have a text box ready to go. And you can start typing away, put in your custom headline, and now we can start tweaking this to get it to look the way we want, which is super fun. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to all caps right here, and I'm going to increase the width of this text box just a little bit, and I'm going to do that by holding the right handlebar here. It's not really a handlebar. I don't know what that is, but you can grab it. Hold down the Option key on a Mac. On a PC, that would be an Alt key, and you can make that a little bit larger. Now let's increase the font size. You can come right up here, select a font size that you like. Now these are preset, so you can either choose one of these, you can enter in a font size that you want custom up here. So I can say 50 pixels, or I can use a keyboard shortcut, which I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to press Command A to select all. You can also just drag from left to right here with your mouse to select everything. And then on a Mac again, I'm going to hold down Shift, Command, comma, and that's going to incrementally reduce my font size. You can see up in the type box there that the font size is changing. So I'm using Command, Shift, comma to reduce the size. I'm using Command, Shift, period to increase the size. And I think on a PC that's Control, Shift, comma, or period. I like to do it that way because sometimes I don't really know the font size that I want. I want to just kind of incrementally inch up to it, and that's a great way to do it. So now I want to change the font itself. Inside Biz-in-a-Box, I have a big, huge PDF full of different font combinations and font ideas. Definitely make sure you check that out if you're in Biz-in-a-Box. Otherwise, you can certainly search for a font, or you can just scroll through to find one that you like. I like to use Montserrat. So let's change it to that, move it up a little bit. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if you have a premium account and you decide to upload fonts, and then you use your branded font, and then you try to share this file, you can enter email addresses, you can invite people, you can copy the link, and you can share it with people. But the problem is if they don't have that same font uploaded to Canva, they're not going to be able to do anything with your file. So make sure that you also, if you're working with people in your team, make sure that everyone has the font that you need if it's a branded font. Okay, so I'm going to increase the size of this a little bit, start customizing this a tiny bit. And now let's experiment with putting a background color behind the text. So I'm going to go back to Elements. I'm going to clear this out in the search field. If you come down here, you will see shapes that you can use, and there are also lines that you can use and frames that you can use. Now these are the elements that you're probably going to be using the most frequently based on my experience. So right now, let's go into the shape section and let's see what's inside here. I'm going to grab this basic shape here, and I actually kind of like the way that that looks. So let's just leave it there, see what it looks like. I'm going to push this behind the text, and you can do that simply by going to Position, backward and forward. We'll toggle the layers here. And then maybe what I want to do is I want to reduce that. And you can leave it here if you're happy with this. But let's just say that I kind of liked that vector image. So let's go back to graphics, and now I'm going to search for that light bulb. I'm going to grab the light bulb. I'll reduce it. You see now you're just kind of layering elements and you're playing with each one. I think that kind of looks cool. And I'm going to change the color. Now, if you know your hex code that you want, you can enter it in here, or you can simply use this sliding scale to find a color that you think might work. I kind of like that. And overall, I like the way this is looking. Now, usually you're going to want to brand these, so that is where you would use the Uploads folder, and you can upload anything that you want. If you have graphics and photos that you've already downloaded or purchased and you have your own library, certainly upload them here because then you'll be able to use them. So I'm going to grab my logo mark here, reduce that size. I'm going to drop it right down here. Maybe I'm going to nudge this over. Yep, I think that works good. And notice I just double-clicked on this to be able to reposition this photo in the background. So I like that. Let's get it a little bit off center. I like that better. And there you go. Now you'll notice that these are not vertically aligned. So let's solve that right now. I'm going to drag my mouse and select everything. I'm going to come back under Position and I'm going to center. You can also group elements. So let's say I want to group these elements. I can group them. Then I can select the background box and those grouped elements, and I can vertically center them in the middle. The other thing that you can do with text boxes is you can change the spacing. So I can change the letter spacing, which is going to increase or decrease the space between the letters, and then I can change the line height. So I can tighten up the space between this headline, make it really tight, or I can open it up. And you can also make that bold. Some fonts will have an extra bold or they will have a medium weight, so you want to go back and maybe search. And maybe we want to make this extra bold. That's a little bit too much, but I just wanted to show you that it's in there. I'm going to Command Z to undo that. And of course, you can change the color of the font to anything that you want. So if you want that to be colorful like that, you can certainly go ahead and do that. I'm going to duplicate this page because I want to show you another cool thing that you can start doing. I'm going to just shrink this down a little bit, and I'm going to get rid of this background image. I'm going to go to Backgrounds, because you can add cool backgrounds, and Canva has a wonderful library of backgrounds. Again, if you have textures and backgrounds, certainly you can upload those. But let's just put this into the background, and I think that's pretty cool. Now I'm going to go back to the elements. I'm going to do that same search. Grab this image again, and I'm going to layer it on top of my cool background. Left and right here, if you grab these left and right, again, remember you're going to be changing the dimensions. and kind of doing a crop on it. And I can push this to the back so that my elements that I want to show start to show. Now maybe with this one I'm not going to use this vector art, but I am going to use my overlay. Maybe I want to do something like that and just lay it over both of them. Just add some dimension here. Bring it up a little bit, and I'm holding down the Option as I'm increasing the height of this box, and that will do it from the center out. If I just held down the bottom and I did not hold down the Option key, it would just increase it on this side only. Now I feel like I really want this to stand out a little bit more, so I'm going to increase that. And there you go. So you can start to create layers of your designs. And the other thing you can do with this background graphic, and you can do this with any photo or any element, which is another really, really cool thing about Canva. I can select this and I can then reduce the transparency or increase the transparency. Now this background looks like it's a combination that Canva has where it is a photo that's overlaying a picture and it's all in one file. So if you wanted to change the tone of this, you could simply, again, select your color that you want to use, and there you go. So I think that looks really cool. Another thing that you can do is you can, again, we're going to go back over to graphics, and I'm going to go into the shape section here. Select all, and I'm going to do a frame. Let's try just adding a frame around the edge here of the photo, of the top photo. I'm going to push this to the back again. Now that's really starting to pop, but I think that this border is a little bit too thick. Now I'm going to show you an advanced Canva thing because this took me forever to figure out. If you'll notice, let me bring this to the front again. And this is where you can just pop it right to the front if you know that you want an element to go to the front. And I want to change this color because I really want you to see what's happening here. Okay, if you grab the outside corner handlebars, you're going to increase and reduce this according to the size, right? It's going to keep their proportions. But you'll notice as I'm shrinking it that the width of the border is shrinking too. So about the only way to change the size of this border, the weight, the thickness of that border, if you want like a delicate border, you don't really want it to be kind of big and bold, is to shrink this down to about the line size that you think might be good, and then drag it out from the middle left or right and top and bottom, not the corners. And this is how you can get a nice frame around it. Then I'm going to position that, just kind of nudge this back, select that border, change the color of that border. Let's say I want that to be black, and look how cool that is. We're starting to really, really layer our components here. Maybe I'll reduce this and put it into the white area. You have to kind of fiddle around with, as you start playing with this, just fiddle around with where you're placing things. Like maybe I put this inside of the white box. And again, you can change the opacity of this box so you can see a hint of what's behind it if that's something that you want to do. I'm kind of okay just not doing that. I kind of think that it looks better 100%. So I'm going to bring that back. And maybe you just go to here with it. Totally up to you. So something cool that you can do with layering. So you can use background textures and you can just keep layering and layering, repositioning and repositioning your elements to get the look that you want. And you can see the difference between this and this, right? Especially if we change this back to black. Basically, you have a very similar post and a very similar looks, but they're different. And this is a way for you to start kind of creating a branded look. Whoops, I forgot this one. Let me grab that guy. You can start to create a branded look from your designs just by playing with these different layers and different styles. Okay, so I'm going to change the name of this right up here. You'll definitely want to do that so that you can know what you're looking at when you're back on the dashboard and you see all your designs. And you'll notice up here that it says all changes saved. Now this is something that Canva is doing in the background while you're working. It is saving your file every couple seconds or so. It'll red flag you if there's an issue and it can't save your document for some reason. But heads up, once you see all changes saved, I can go back to home now. I'm going to call this new because I have another one with this name. I'm going to go back to home now. And if you scroll down, you will see your new post right here. You're going to see your new design. It's going to take a minute to generate your preview, but it is here, it is saved, and you can click on it and you can continue editing it. So it hasn't gone anywhere, it's still there. So it's automatically saving, you don't have to worry about it. The other thing I want to show you quickly with photos is I'm selecting right here the background image, and you can flip this. You can also flip it left and right. So that's a cool thing to do if you're trying to work the positioning of your background image. You can flip it. You can also adjust it here, and you can start actually changing the tonality of that photo. So I can increase the brightness. I can make it a little bit darker and kind of push it back, which is a really cool thing to do if you're trying to show text over an image. You can change the contrast. You can make the contrast sharper or more subtle. It's going to give you a little bit of a similar effect to the brightness, but it's not as harsh. You can totally saturate your colors, or you can desaturate and turn them grayscale. You can totally change the tint. Now this is kind of touchy. I've played with the tint a little bit. I can never seem to get exactly what I want. So, be cautious when you use this tool. You can blur it out, which is super cool if you want to kind of create your own background textures from photos and then layer them the way that I showed you. You can do something like that. You can add a vignette, which is kind of darkening the sides and the edges gradually. The other thing that you can do is you can apply some different filters. So you can just click through these to see what would happen with these preset filters. Totally cool, like that looks great. So that's just another thing that I want to show you that you can do with photos, and it's really, really helpful when you're designing and you want to try to blend these designs so that they all kind of work together. Now when you're done, this is an Instagram post, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say download right up here. I'm going to download it as a PNG. You can also download it as a JPEG or a PDF. If you're working on an ebook, you can save this as a PDF and then go ahead and share it with your audience. If you have a Canva for Work account, you can actually schedule these posts. If you're doing social media posts, you can actually schedule them right to your platform. So right up here under Publish, if you have activated your accounts and integrate them with Canva, then you can schedule them right from here. You can share them immediately right from here. I don't do that because I use SmarterQ to do that, but if that's something that you want to do, definitely look into that. I'd be excited to hear about your success with that. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple other things here that are going to be helpful for you. The first of these is, let's say you create your Instagram post and right now you want to go under File and you can either make a copy to start a new design, or I can say resize this. I can add my custom dimensions. I'm going to turn this into a pin. I'm going to say copy and resize. So this is automatically going to duplicate this post so that I don't write over this, and it's going to create a new file. If you just say resize, keep in mind that you will now have destructively edited this, and Canva is saving this. So if you resize this file, then that means you're making changes to this actual file. But if you select copy and resize, you see it's going to shoot out in a new window, and now I can start working on my pin. So I'm going to call this pin new. Now it does a pretty good job of resizing automatically, but you may have to finesse this a little bit and maybe increase the font size here, increase the width of this, We're definitely going to want to go more bold for Pinterest, so I'm going to search for Montserrat again. I'm going to choose the semi-bold here, make that stand out a little bit more. Maybe I'll drop the icon here. And let's make this font as big as we can. Now, if you want to, you can duplicate this. So I can copy this and make a duplicate of it. You can duplicate the text box and you can separate them so that you can play around with changing the fonts of each individual text box. So in this case, I'm going to duplicate this a couple times. I'm going to take that out. So I'm separating 10 SEO. And then in this one, I'm going to leave secrets. And as far as I know, this is the only way to change your font styles in Canva. In other words, you have to have separate text boxes if you're going to change the font. So in this one, I'm going to use my uploaded font, King Basil. Change that to upper and lower. I'm going to really increase the font size of that. Maybe change the color here too. And you can see how we've just really made it pop just by changing that one font. And now I can reduce this font size a little bit. And there you go. I might want to come back here and just put that off. Maybe change the color of this. You can just keep playing and playing until you really kind of get what you're looking for. You can change all of these, put these to white, and that font change really still stands out. So the sky's the limit in terms of what you can create. From here, you'd want to then download this. And again, Canva is saving this. You'll see all changes saved. Now, if I wanted to, let's say I wrote a blog post and I'm creating a PDF out of that blog post, and I also need to create an ebook for it. I'm going to select Resize again. I'm going to say Custom Dimensions. Change that to inches, copy, and resize. And now, again, always remember to rename these. And you see it did a pretty darn good job of just giving me automatically a great cover. From here, you can delete everything from this page, and you can start adding a text box to create an ebook and start populating this. Inside Biz-in-a-Box, there are tons of workbooks and ebooks to give you a starting point from. They're already designed, so I'm not going to get into a lot about how to actually create an ebook right here. But I just wanted you to see how quickly and easily you can resize and resave these files. Once you have a design that you like, you can use it for your next post, and you can use it for your next design. The other cool thing is, once you're inside of the ebook, if you have a Canva for work, and this is one of the things that I told you that I was going to tell you about the folders, this is really cool, you can go into your folders and you can grab files. So let's say that inside of a Biz-in-a-Box, I have a page that I want to use the style from, or the direct page. I can simply grab it and add it right here. Super easy way to work in between each of these files, and that is only available with Canva for Work. So that's another reason to do it. It saves a ton of time. If you have all of these different great designs that you've already created and you're working on a multi-page document, then just pick them up from your other document, and this is the way to do it. Okay, so on this one, then what you'd want to do is save this as a PDF for your ebook. Okay, one other thing that I want to show you, I'm going to create a new page. I'm going to get rid of all of that, and I want to just show you something else with the graphics that's going to come into play. I showed you already how to change the line weight of your borders. and how to drag it out so that you can select your weight and create a nice frame. The same thing happens with lines. So when you take a line, when you put it on here, you're going to see a very thick weight. And a lot of times you don't want that big bulky line. So what you can do is you can reduce it down and then grab left and right. And that's how you can start to get that really, really delicate line that you want. So if you're creating a cheat sheet or a workbook and you need some lines for people to write on, this is the way to do it. And then I can grab that and I can duplicate it, and I can grab it again and duplicate it again. Then you can select all of these and you can center them to make sure that they're all distributed equally. Okay, so that's the line. And then the other thing I want to show you quickly is frames. Frames are a really great way for you to have like a placeholder for an image that you want to change the shape of that image. So I can plop this in, it's a circle, and now I can go to, let's say, my uploads folder, and I can grab an image that I uploaded, and it will automatically lock into that circle shape. So that's definitely something that you want to do. Let's say that you saved your ebook cover as a PDF, and then you want to show people this PDF cover on your pin or your Instagram post. Just grab one of those frames and then you can automatically plop in your ebook cover. And there's so much more that you can do with this. It's just really great. So check those out. So frames, I've told you about. Now you know how to work with lines and borders, so you should be good to go. That gives you an overview of how to use Canva, how to start working inside of it, how to save your files, and start using these design elements. As you work through it, you're going to learn more, you're going to go faster and faster and customize it even more to suit your brand. And inside Biz-in-a-Box, I have more tutorials showing you how to use the templates and some more Canva shortcuts, some more design shortcuts, so make sure that you check those out.